Okay, cool. Alright guys, so yeah, this is going to be a small tutorial of how to get our shape set up in a kaleidoscopic design. So there's a couple of particular details we need to place close attention to. Alright, so first off, what I'm going to need to do is start with the original file here. Open recent version 6. Don't save this. Alright. So the way I started off here is placing everything in position and getting the right sizes and making sure I get all my shapes here. Alright, so what I'm going to need to do though is go back through here and reset the transformations. Now transformations are very important because this repeater is being very finicky, right? Very specific. Alright, so in simple terms, when we first apply the repeater, its origin is it matches the original origin of the shape. Now, since some of these are custom and others are default, that kind of varies here and there. So we got to do a couple of things to make sure we get a uniform origin for all of these shapes, so that once we beat them around in a circle, we can get everything we want in that 360 design. So let's pay close attention. I'm going to bring up a new composition just to show the example that I have. So put the name here, default settings. Okay, so a brand new composition. So what we do, we've already done, we've made a shape, right? We've placed it in a certain fashion and designed it a certain way, scaling and whatnot. The problem is with our current process is that we've made transformations to the main transform node. What we need them on is the shapes transform node right here. Okay, so go ahead and rename this a star layer. And then if I apply a repeater as is, the way I go about doing that is either clicking the main layer here or the contents here. Make sure one of those are highlighted. Play button next to add. And over here to repeater. We want the repeater right underneath the shape, underneath the contents here. And if we do that, go into repeater, go into the transform repeater. So it's the third transform node. Go ahead and zero out the position. We start playing with the rotation. You get these wonky effects. This is not the 360 degree effect we want for most of our shapes. That's because we have transforms or values on the regular default transforms. So to get it appropriately, we're going to go ahead and hit reset. Right? Hit reset for each one. Once we have that into place, get everything into place, go ahead and reapply the repeater. Okay, again, it gives me the 100 value on the X position. I'm going to go ahead and zero that out. I'm going to hit rotation. Then we get a better effect. But what you can see here is it's going around the origin point right here, the original anchor. And if we do something like trying to manually adjust that, it's not going to help much because we need to apply transformations to the repeaters anchor point. Right? So we got 3 transforms, right? That means we got 3 anchor points. We have the anchor point for the shape, the anchor point for the repeater, and then we also have an anchor point for the layer. Okay, what we want to do is we want to parent the anchor point of the repeater to the anchor point of the layer. When we do that, it's called pigtailing. Grab and drag this spiral icon here, drag it down to here, and now this anchor point should be right on top of the original point of this this anchor point here, right? So we get everything centered. Our stars are centered. So that means we can go back into here, do our rotations, right? And we go up here to transform for the shape, or our selection tool, double click, and then we can pull it out, and that'll give us the rotation we're looking for. It's not evened up because I don't have a particular degree for transform. So I hit 120, 3 copies, 3 times 120 is 360, 360 degrees, so they're evenly spaced around our anchor point. And that's what we're looking to do with each shape of our kaleidoscope. Alright, that way we go back in here and we can start messing around with the values and eventually keying them in to animate them. Right. And skewing, rotation, that sort of thing. Okay. Alright, so back to my original composition here. Double click, open it up. So first step is to reset the transforms. So select all the layers that you're going to be transforming, holding down Control, clicking each one of these. Alright, there is a red jewel I'm going to ignore for now, right here. Complex shape is going to have a couple of origins or a couple of shapes in there. It's just going to be a little bit much to deal with for now. So we'll focus on everything else except for the repeating red jewels here. Alright, once I have all those selected, I can hit my drop down arrow. I'll open up the transforms for everybody. I'll just go right down the way, hitting reset for each one. Just resetting transformations so I can apply them correctly here. Alright, once I have all that done, I can go ahead and collapse everything. Drop arrow while everything's selected. Click in the empty space to deselect. Alright, now I can start applying transformations here. So it's going to be a certain way I go about doing this. So for the main transformation, the layer, we're only going to focus on moving it. We don't want to scale it or rotate it. That'll give us results once we apply the repeater. Just move this to the side. Going to line up the anchor point for now. Make our lines a little easier for later on. I got 2 of these. So I'm going to go ahead and delete the second one and reduplicate it after I get it sized correctly. Out of the way, hitting Y to get to my pan behind tool, pressing holding Control after dragging the anchor point to snap it to the center. Okay. Good. Y, click and hold Control, snap it to the center. And back to my shape tool by pressing V, bringing it out of the way there. Second one, that one, and this one. Y, click and drag, Control, snap to the center. Alright. So make all these a little smaller so I can get them to fit on my canvas here. Start with the center part, which is this blue gem here. Alright, so the way we're going to resize our shapes, double click so that we're on the transformation for the shape. That means we are in contents, underneath the shape node, and this transform node. That's where we're going to do all our scaling. Don't have to do anything fancy with this. So click and drag on the corner points, press and hold, and shrink. Right about there will work. Back to my selection tool. I'm going to hit Control Z because I moved it. All is in the transform shape node. The way I know that visually is that these markers for the boundary box are hollow in a white center. Just click off, click it back on, and they're solid. That means I'm messing with the transform node with the main layer. I use that for my positional values. Alright, I'm going to put it right about here and out the way. I'm just shrinking all the rest of these. So, double click, shrink, hold shift to constrain it. Ideal size. Control Z again. There you go. And again, just to double check, go to my square jewel here, go underneath contents, rectangle 1, transform for rectangle 1. I'm looking at my skew. So skew, scale is uniform, that's good. And position. Pretty uniform. You can always zero this out. It will also help us out as well. And right here, go ahead and recenter this. Alright, it's looking good. So I got 0 in position. My shapes transform node. I got 100% scale from the transform node for the whole layer. Okay. So again, it's going to be a repeat process, no scaling on the outside nodes. So double click to get to that shape transform node. Make it smaller. Click and hold shift. Make sure it's uniform. It's good. Go back to my main transform and then move. Alright, double click. Smaller, shift, constrain it. Right up there. Back to the main transform node. Move it up there. Okay. Let's get 2 of these and we'll look at which one this is. Looks like it's the larger one. Double click. Just a little bit. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and move the anchor point for the shape to the center here. Make life a little bit easier later on. Selection tool, click off. Alright, my anchor point moved. Go ahead and move this back into place. Alright. Move this to the side. Alright, this is the much smaller one right here. So double click. Shrink it down. Hit Y from the pan behind tool. Move this somewhere in the center there. Alright, selection tool. Click off. Click on to get back to my main. Anchor points off again. Go ahead, click and drag, hold shift, snap into place. Alright, we look back at my reference. So I'm going to be building it upwards from this point. So one of these needs to be flipped. It looks like it's going to be this big one here. So for rotations, go back to the transform for the shape. Alright. For that shape icon in the outside corner here, click and drag, hold shift, rotate it around like so. Go ahead and click off the exit. Go to my pink here, move in the main transformation, double click, down a bit. Blinkers off just a little bit, so I'm going to put it in the center here. Also going to rotate a little bit. Selection tool, just a tad like so. Alright, back to selection tool. Click off. Make it bounce off just a little bit. Correct it. Click drag. Hold control. Go right there. Okay. This one's pretty small. Click the resize. About there. Zoom in to compare. Make sure I'm in my shape transform mode. Just a little further. I'm not going to move it. Now in this node, go back to the main one for later. Move it that way. I know this one's underneath this white one. So back to my reference. It's just a little smaller than the white one. Alright, so make this one wider. So this one a little smaller. Like so. That's about right. Okay. So this one needs a little more adjusting. I'm not exactly sure how just yet. So now I'm going to move this yellow one, this piece right here. Double click to resize it. Something right about there. I'll go ahead and get back to the right transform node, rotate a little bit. So that it's straight up and down here. Okay. Go back to the main node. Move it around a little bit. Okay. I'm going to start positioning these so you get an idea of how they're going to look. Make it bounce off a little bit, snap that back into place. Selection tool. And size it down. Smaller. Click. Size it down a little bit. Right about there. Reference, take a look. Yeah, right about there is good. Yep. So I moved it, right? And I'm supposed to move it and transform the shape nodes. I'm going to use Control Z. Those regular values back. Click off, click on. The right way. Click on it again since I need to rotate it. Just a tad. Turn right about there. Move it into place. Right about there looks right. Okay, so I've got two of these. I'm going to need to repeat over and over again. Go ahead and Control C, Control V, duplicate it, Paint Tool A2. Automatically named it 2 since the original one is ends with an 01. So move these off to the side. Alright, double click, rotate it. It's right about there. Eyeballing it. Alright. So that looks pretty good. Looks like we got the right sizes here. So it could be a little wider. Okay. This could be a little bigger. Okay. So that looks about right. Looks like that'll work. Okay, next, I'm going to go ahead and find the center of my canvas. this works better if you work off of the center, close to it. So what we'll need is we need to grab our rulers. Side here, so come up here to view. Make sure show rulers is checked on. Alright. And then to find a dead center, the anchor point for each tool always starts off dead center. Unfortunately, there's only add-ons and that sort of thing that we can place in here to get precise guide placement. But since we're just gonna sort of eyeball it for now, what I'm gonna do is come back up here, make sure everything's deselected, and draw a quick new shape just off to the side here. And then this will give me an anchor point right in the middle. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring this down, line it up. Right about there, bring this over, line this up. Right about there. Alright, and this shape serves this purpose. Go ahead here. So that's our center of the canvas. Now we want to place all of these at the center, right on this point. And before I do that, we'll go through and make sure my anchor points are in the center of the shape. Y, click, drag, hold control. Center. Just move this one off just a bit. Okay. Okay, so it looks good, looks about right. Go back to my move tool, and I'm going to move all these right here to the center. It should snap. If you don't have any snapping motion, go back to view, make sure your snap to guides is checked here. Okay. Just going to snap that center anchor point. Shapes right here. Okay. Oh, these two square jewels are turned, and then this one needs to be duplicated. So, actually, I can get by without duplicating this. I can use the repeater. That happens. So I'm just going to go in here, rotate this 45 degrees, so I can get a constrained rotation by clicking and dragging and holding shift, and rotated by 45-degree intervals. Get it right there. Click off, main transformation, placing the dead center. Same thing with this guy. So double click, shape transformation, click and drag, hold shift, click it in at 45-degree angle. Back to main transformation. Stick it right in there. Okay, awesome. Now what I'm going to do is make this large one a little smaller. Make sure everything fits well. Right about there. Okay, so since this large jewel in the center is going to stay at the center, I'm going to leave that alone for now. Drag it to the bottom so I can see everything else. Alright, and then I'm just going to start with this large teardrop and just adjust it. Teardrop A1, just the first one. Click on that. Open it up. Okay, highlight content or the layer, either one will work. Go to add repeater. Come underneath repeater. the position. I'll leave the 3 copies in there for now. So make sure you've got the right setup. Alright, and then another important point. I'm going to take this transform repeater, take that anchor point, pigtail, click and drag it to the main transformation anchor point. Alright, I'll make sure everything repeats right around the center origin. Alright, and if you've got everything working correctly, we'll put it in 120. Alright, so it rotates right around there. And what I can do from here is, let's go ahead and bring this to the top. Double click and start messing with the position of the main teardrop here. Right about there, straight up. To get it to go straight up, grab it, click and hold Shift. So either goes directly on the horizontal or vertical axis here, depending on which way you drag it. Alright, so put it right about there. Take a look at my reference. Yeah, looks about right. Right about there. Okay, close that out for now. Square jewel, bring that to the top. And we'll do the same thing for each one of these. Square jewel, open this up. The layer content is highlighted. I have a repeater. Alright, underneath the repeater. The position. Pigtail, anchor point of the repeater transform to layer transform. So click and drag, let go, turns red, make sure that you know you have the right thing. Double check that. Click here, double click it. Okay. Oh, I didn't put my rotation values in, so do is transform from the repeater at 120. There we go. Okay, so we're looking good so far. Let's go kind of up. Yep. Transform. Double click. Up. And then to the side, right? Do that, and I'm just going to rotate the whole thing just a little bit. Rotation values, side to side, something pretty uniform, so we'll see. Maybe not one of those. We can adjust that later on. Okay, so right above this main one is the blue, and then above that is the other teardrops. So we'll go cut those all. Okay, the blue one's right here. So it's right above this main one here. Drag this to the top so I can see it. Open it up. Okay, add that repeater in the right place. Come down here, take out the default value for position. Zero that out. Go ahead and put in 120 to work with the 3 copies we have for now. Next time you hit my guideline, so I can go back up here, lock guides, so that doesn't happen again. Okay, double click, zoom in, make sure I'm moving it, not distorting it, moving it upwards, so we got an issue here because I forgot a step. So I'm going to hit Control Z. Come back down here. My anchor point is unpigtailed, so I got some weird transformations here. So just click and drag to the main anchor point. Alright, we've got our rotations. It's looking good. Double click. There we go. That's what we're looking for. Okay. Back in place, so I'm moving straight up. There you go. Hold Shift. Go straight up. Right above that large tier. Right there. Okay. Alright, next. Next we have the large teardrop. It's going to be off canvas a little bit. That's okay. You can work with that. Close this one out. It's the teardrop B. Named it appropriately so I can find it easy. Alright. Hold on. So make sure all my things are in place here. Okay, cool. Add the repeater. Position, zero that out. And then I'm going to add rotation. 20 since I have 3 copies. Alright, it's a little wonky because the anchor point is off. So pigtail the anchor point to the main one, so it's centered. I was rotating right about that center. Okay, and then I can go in and move. Alright, and then it's looking kind of thin, so what I can do now is I can go here, expand it out. The other one should, yeah, adjust appropriately. Okay, so I'm moving it right above this one. I'll leave that there for now. Okay. Next is this one here. So slash jewel, drag it to the top. Open it up, add the repeater. Transform to repeater. Surround position. Add 120. Check it. My anchor point is off. Pigtail it to the right anchor point. I can move in because kind of almost next to there. So place that there. Right. Main transformation, rotate it. Oh, 40 for that. Okay. Next we have these gems right here. My pink jewel 1. And add the repeater. Zero out position. And add 120 in rotation. Okay, and then straighten out my anchor point. Alright. Double click. I would move it like this, but it's going to give us some issues later on. So I'm just going to move it to right about here and then use rotation to it move a little bit more upwards. We'll see. We'll make those adjustments afterwards. Okay. Our second pink one. Drag to the top. Shapes. Okay, it's looking good. Yep. And our anchor point. There we go. Alright, and drag this straight up. Is 40. This one looks like it would be about 28. Before I do that, I need to move it up just a little more. Negative 28. Just a tad more. Instead of doing that there, I'm just going to go here to my shapes, transform mode, position, Y. Just raise it up just a little bit. Right about there would do. Okay. It's not bad, so that's at 28. I'm going to do some minor adjustments. Make sure you got everything working on a wheel. The 360 design here, so I got 28 for that one, so I'm going to go ahead and bump this up just a little bit. Okay. So the next couple of pieces, we're going to use that square tool. Drag it to the top here. So we can see it at all times. Apply a repeater. Before that, though, so we need to move those shapes up a little bit just to get this in there. For now, I'm just going to go ahead and get in position. So I need to line it up with the yellow jewel, so I'll go ahead and punch in negative 40 degrees for the main transformation. It just lines up just right. Okay, and then the same thing with this one. It's hard to see on circles. Let's hit rotation immediately. Right outside the blue shape. Right there. Alright, and then my main transform. In place. I have moved these guys upwards. Collapse this one. Open up yellow jewel. Go into the shapes transformation. This we use to move it up and down. I need to move it up on its y-axis. Go ahead and add more value to the negative value. Push it outwards. Go here. Do the same thing for the pin jewels. So, pro tip. So, remember these numbers. All of this is just copy and paste these numbers. They're on the same line. So negative 440 for this one. Should be the same for this one as well. And then as we move outwards, of course, they're going to move further away from one another. That means we can bring them in a little closer. So rotations, moving on our main transform node. So right here, it's 40 degrees. This is on 40 degrees, 40 degrees, 40 degrees. So we want things straddling that 40 degree area right now. So if we do, give or take 5 degrees, this one on the right will be negative 35. It's a little too close. Negative 32 says, yeah, so that's 8 degrees forward for that one. So this will be 8 degrees back. Negative 48. Just touching a little bit, so let's say first one, 9 degrees. There we go. Okay, so in place. So this is 40, then directly midway would be 20. I'm just going to make sure this one is in place. Yeah, directly 20. Move it up just a little bit. Transform, rectangle, position, I don't know, just a little bit. Awesome. So now they're all in place. So we've got our jewels in place, they're looking good. Alright, now what we can do is start repeating them all the way around. So instead of just 3 copies, I should have 6 total, right? And these will be about twice as much, 12 total. 1, 2, 3, 12 copies. Yeah. So let's see if we can get this right here. We should try. Start with the big one. Go into the repeater. Alright, we want 6 of these guys. And then this is 120. Twice as many, half as many degrees. 60 degrees. There we go, we got all 6. So this change should work for most of them. This is J Joule. Yep. 6 of those. 6. 60. Alright, and then square Joule, same thing. 6. 60. Same thing with the pink. 6 and 60. Go through each of these. There we go. Okay. If you got this part down, go ahead and skip ahead here. Feel free. Notice something here where you're a little off. We'll go back in and make some more adjustments, right? Right, and this one in particular, we need 12 of these. So double 2 times. So we'll need to do the degrees 2 times. 30 degrees. Alright, and then we'll move this here. Okay, that's everything. Okay. So we got all our pieces in place. Not perfectly, but you're there. Just need to line these up a little bit more. Right, and the orange ones up just a bit. So there's a particular number I'm looking for, since I have 6 slices, each have their own bit of pieces, and we need them to be arranged in a certain way. So everything on this line is perfect. We shouldn't mess with any of those. So first I'm going to start with the squares here. Alright, so think of it as a clock, right? So if this is 12 o'clock, this is 6, that's 3, and then that's 9. Right, so we need something between halfway of 9 and 12. 3 hour and a half, so we need 10:30. The 10:30 point right about here. Oh, excuse me. You don't need a 10:20 point. We need the halfway point between here, right? So we got 6 of these. So ideally, it's every 2 hours these pop up. So 12 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock. Excuse me. So we need something at 11 o'clock right here. And then do the same thing with the degrees, right? Kind of go around. So this is 0. We moved them every 60. So 0, 60, 120, 180, 240, right? 300, and then 360. So we need something at about 330 right here. So whatever this is, we should be able to subtract 30 degrees, right? We should get that right point here. Or add 30 degrees. So this is negative 40? Yeah, this is negative 40. So it should be in place if we put it at negative 10 there. Let's give it a try. Negative 10. Alright, not quite. That's a little bit missing. 40. Should be 30 degrees. Oh, or just negative 30 degrees. There we go. Okay, awesome. Negative 30 degrees. Okay, awesome. Same thing with the rest of these guys to get them lined up. These are give or take 9 degrees around that center point there. So it's 40. Add 9 degrees to 30. This is 21. Nine. Center line right there. This one halfway in between the 30 degrees and 0 point of negative 15. So pretty close guesses there. Alright, so it is colliding with this one a little bit, so I'm just going to go into transform here. Tweak it a little bit, bring it out. There we go, there. Okay, and save early, save often. Alright. Control Shift S to Save as. We'll save it up a version. Save it as 7. There we go. Everything's in place except for the red trolls here. Right? Keep in mind, you can always go back in here, right, and change the fill as needed. Right, it'll change everything else because it's all instance, right? These things don't actually exist. They're like fake copies, and they're constantly updating based on this original piece right here. Okay? None of these have their own layers. Okay, and then that's how we make a kaleidoscope using a repeater in After Effects. Now we'll go over this in detail tomorrow. There were some mistakes made technically on here, so it won't be due tomorrow. It's going to take some time to figure this out exactly. But if you have any questions, feel free to ask. We'll be in class very early, ready to go ahead and shoot for this. Alright, so I'll see everybody tomorrow, and have a good night.